Hey, what's up, Mike?
Not much. I just left the city chambers here because I
Oh,
was looking at the some of the remodeling being done at the city hall here. So I was like, it's like, ooh, I hope I so
okay. That's cool.
but
I didn't know that you were a part of that too, just because of running and everything. So that's awesome.
yeah, it was that's why both Mayor and I we're like kind of running on a uh behind time here because we just finished city council. So
Okay. Well,
um
no, that's all right. Hey, what's up, Brian? Mayor Brian, how you
Hey,
doing?
good.
How's your are you feeling better after the big match you had the other night?
Oh yeah, yep. It was
I get
good.
that guy really like. I was surprised that what was that his name, Darren Corbin or whatnot.
Yep.
God, he really got you good at the end. I didn't see that coming at all.
No, yeah, I didn't really see it coming either.
I felt bad for you. I thought you were either you're selling it really well or you really were hurt.
No, I sold it.
Well, I appreciate you guys spending some time with me for a few minutes. I just kind of wanted to go over next week's show and kind of give you kind of some ideas of what I'm proposing as far as for my next episode of Renegade Radio. Now, I'm sure you're probably wondering, well, why the heck would a guy like me be interested in doing something like this with you two? Well, one, because I know Michael. I've known Michael and his family, even though we don't talk that much or whatever, but I know the Lorenson family. I know pretty much all of them. They're from my area, from Greenbush or Strathcona. And two, Brian, I feel like you're the type of guy that you're probably a no nonsense type of person, and I feel like for being mayor, I feel like you do good work. Regardless of how much shit people give you, you do good work. So, I feel like you guys are the type of people who I want to have on my show, even though I don't do a whole lot of political stuff. I mostly stick with pop culture and everything. So I do interviews with celebrities, and I'm serious. I really do. This is what the show's mostly about. The reason why I decided to do this idea was after seeing you perform for the wrestling event. I got some a thought in my head. It's just like, well, when I lived in South Dakota, I did something like this similar when I had a radio station in Rapid City called Rapid Fire Radio, and my co-host at the time and I had it in his house, and so we invited the Rapid City mayor and the Rapid City mayor candidate both on the show together, and they kind of had their own kind of Q&A or debate or whatever on our station, but we didn't live in Rapid City. We lived outside of Rapid City. We live in Rapid Valley, which is like not in the city limits, or what they didn't consider that city limits anyway.
Yeah.
So I live in Brooks, but I'm originally from Greenbush, and I know Thief River, almost like the back of my hand. I mean, it's a wonderful city, and I feel like there's a lot of people who just want answers, and they don't want to. They're sick of going to board meetings. They're sick of going to council meetings. They're sick of just doing all the other stuff. They want to hear, do a platform where everybody can hear, everybody can participate, no matter where you are. You don't have to be crammed in a little building or whatever. You can watch it on your computer or your phone or whatever, and really get to know you guys and why you care about your city. Why we all care about the city, and then come together and kind of build some common ground. I know it's election time, so I don't know how often you guys do this type of stuff, but I don't, I'm sorry if it's, like, something that, you guys have already done and here we're just repeating the process or whatever, but I have no clue. So,
well, no, normally we would do a debate, and this is what we have been involved with several years now. But for some reason, they have not reached out to us and talked to us about a debate yet. That is something that's kind of interesting. So
well, let me ask you this question. I mean, because I'm kind of letting you guys kind of decide on what it is that we will, what we want to call it. Do we want to do a Q&A or do we want to do a debate and then like a Q&A afterwards?
I guess my
It
my vote would be just due to the fact that we probably will have a debate. I think it would not necessarily make sense to do a debate and then do a debate again. I mean, that's not like
Okay.
it's not like the presidential race. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, and
oh,
I want to be friendly too. I don't want you guys to
yeah,
throw shit at each other.
yeah.
How about Brian? What do you think? What's your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I'm kind of game to kind of the same issues that Mike has. It's nice to get certain points of views out and stuff, but
Okay.
if they're planning a bigger one, you kind of want that to be the big one.
Okay, that's fine. That's why I want one of the things I wanted to go over because we were kind of my friend and I who's helped me run this Zach Gillimat. He runs the Thief River Falls community page, and he kind of got me thinking about this too. It's like he's somebody who really cares about his city, and like we all do, and it's like he just wants answers to questions.
And
It's just simple. It's just a simple process. So maybe just a Q&A. But we're
and
gonna
that
do. Go ahead.
yeah, and like I say, if you had Q&A, had a chance to maybe get some questions ahead. You can get your questions lined up ahead of time. I have no problem just going off a whim and answering questions either, and
Sure.
and get you know probably more times than not. Me and Mike probably agree on most issues, but
Are you are
other than
you
that,
are you guys both the same party? Like as far as what you guys believe in
I
and everything, or
It
well,
is a nonpartisan
yeah,
position, so technically, I mean,
we're not.
that is not the right question to ask, but I would say
Yeah,
that we
okay,
both have the same standard. Um,
okay,
well, I put it this way, Mike, and you might say the same thing. I don't know, but parties are Republican and Democrat, and then you
yeah,
got the Independent Party. Well, we're nonpartisan, but that doesn't mean we're not conservative.
yeah.
okay, okay. Well, it's good to know. I mean, because it seems like there's a lot of people in the area that are considered conservative too, and I probably do agree on mostly what you guys are trying to to have happen here in town. And I realize that you can't make miracles. I mean, you can try to give a good promise and hope to make that happen, but everything costs money, and then everything's so expensive, and you know my biggest question, I guess, that I would probably have just to ask you ahead of time, but you don't have to answer right now. But it's like, why is it so expensive to live in a small community? you know,
I, I, well, I could tell you that right away, and I think the mayor could echo it as well. Is that unfortunately just due to the fact that you have a smaller size community or a smaller size of a county doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have to have those same services. For example, we need to have social services, and because we have social services, we need to have a director within social services. We need to have a lawyer for the county. We need to have all these different things. Now, sure, if the county was twice the size, that would be the hit would be significantly smaller. But again, we are a smaller county, and um, I'd say from a city standpoint, our taxes are actually on the we actually from a city standpoint we don't do too bad for our taxes. Where we get hit really hard is the city taxes on top of the county taxes, and so I think again, I'm sorry if I'm putting words in your mouth, Mayor, but my vote would be saying, you gotta get out to your county commissioners and say, what in the world? And here, this is what speaks volumes. When is the last time the city council took an actual pay raise? An actual pay raise. And you compare that to the pay raises that our county commissioners have received. The multiple multiple pay raises the county commissioners have gotten. I think it was 1980s, Mayor. Is that right? Or is it 1990s?
Uh,
It's been
it's been years.
yeah, it's been many, many, many years since the city council received an actual pay raise. And the key here is that we're not doing it for the pay. We're doing it for the people. And unfortunately, our county commissioners, it seems like that isn't necessarily the same case. But that's just
okay,
I
Well,
said I'm sharing that opinion, but
that's all
and
right.
then Mike, you forgot to add that the county commissioners also do get health care and
yeah,
all that, all the benefits and stuff with that. So they make out pretty good. But just to add to your point too, Mike, that if you take a $100,000 house in Thief River Falls and just use city taxes, not the county, not the school district, not all these other special taxes, the airport authorities, the watershed districts and all that other stuff, take that off. Just look at your city tax and what you're assessed on your city and lay that same $100,000 or $200,000 house, take your pick and put it in East Grand Forks, Crookston, anywhere, Roseau, Red Lake Falls, Warren. You can go all the way around, but the only one that I believe it is it Alvarado? I think is the only one less than us as
Yep.
far as the tax on a personal property.
So we,
So
we get a very, very bad rap for that. We really do.
and then Mike did allude that we have to have services for our citizens, but when we have a community of roughly 9,000 that sleep here, we have a capable public safety to have them. But what happens during the day when we get closer to 20,000 people, we still have to have the public safety to protect them as well. So we have an influx of people from outside our city that we also have to deal with as far as public safety, highways, roadways, infrastructure, and things of that nature. So, it's a big lift for a city that's our size that is kind of considered a regional area.
And to your point, Mayor and Sean, I'm going to poke at you on this because you and I, again, you said you know me because I grew
I
up in the
do.
Strathcona area. What was the coolest thing growing up?
Have money.
When mom yeah, when mom and dad told you, hey, get in the car, we're going where?
Well,
We're
we
going
just go to shopping, going to see Fibber, going to
we're going to go
Kmart,
to
going
Thief
to
River Falls.
yeah, that actually
That
is
was
true.
just
Yeah.
I was just like mind blowing. We're
School
going to Thief River
shopping.
Falls.
We always went there for school shopping locally, and then they had
Yep.
Pizza Hut afterwards. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And so, to the mayor's point, we are what's considered a primary hub for northern Minnesota. And that does not necessarily impact us in always a positive way. It does impact us in negative ways as well, because you look at also traffic uh, constraints or issues, as well as crime related issues, because again, we're a central point for multiple cities to come. And I'll just pick on one that people don't realize. Our Pennington County Humane Society should not be called Pennington County Humane Society. Should be called the Quad County Humane Society, because people from Roseau County, Kitson County, Marshall County, they all come to that Pennington County Humane Society to use it. Again, we are a hub.
And then I'll add to that hub there again, Sean, that you probably don't realize, but when you are a hub like this, the DNR is located here. All these government entities are located here in our community. So out of our whole community of 100% of Thief River Falls, 40% of them are going to be property tax exempt because they're either a government, nonprofit, or a church that doesn't tax. So now you only got 60% of the property in your community that is carrying out all these goods and services that we have to tax for what we're short from LGA and such. So
Well, just like just trying to get an apartment. Like back in the day when I know when I lived the first time when I used to rent over by red carpets, it just seemed like everything was a little bit more interesting. Like a person could actually make it. A single guy, because I've always been single, so a single guy could make it. Now, if somebody with a family, it's like maybe it's better, maybe it's worse. But I'm just going by the single guy's perspective, and knowing that I've never been rich, so it's like, but I try. I live in Brooks now, so it's like the community is smaller, but it's like I don't know. It just seems like it's pretty affordable to live in these smaller places, just because
well,
the bigger cities are too much.
there again, you have a smaller community. You don't have a local law enforcement that you have to pay to because you rely on the sheriff that could be in the area and you might not be in the area type of thing and
Sure.
such. So there's some give and take in some of that stuff. Even as far as water supplies and things like that, your well that you need or your water source for your community is totally different than how much water that we need for our community. And then there, on the other hand, we have to deal with the waste just like you do. We'll have a lot more waste that we have to deal with. So,
Oh, sure.
there gets to be a lot more burden on these, how do I want to say it, little big towns.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You think of some of the industries that we support, and I mean, without naming names, we have several in the city of Thief River Falls here that consume more water than any of the any of the people that live here. But the businesses consume more of that water, and they have to maintain a sanitation and so on and so forth. But that puts a huge stress on our infrastructure, um, and it causes strain. So I'm going to spin back though again and say, I mean, Sean, you need to think about it this way too, because I have a daughter who is looking to potentially move to Thief River Falls.
Okay.
And one of her big things is the taxes. Do you know what she did with that taxes? She
Uh,
started doing the math and she started saying, okay, I have to, she lives in Stephen right now.
okay.
And you know, I'm not going to say this in public radio because I don't need to say where my family lives for their privacy, but I'm going to
Yeah,
say
sure.
she lives in Stephen right now. She did the math. Do you know that she spends over 6,000, excuse me, over $600 in a year's time just in gasoline per year, just to come to Thief River Falls to get groceries?
Sure. Well, that's one of the reasons why I moved closer to why I live in Brooks now rather than Greenbush because I didn't want to
Yeah.
spend so much money on gas just to drive to work and I work at the casino, so it's
Yep.
like yeah,
And if you do the math there, now you turn around and you say, okay, wear and tear on your vehicle, plus other trips that you might need to take, and you might say, okay, these smaller communities might seem cheaper, but
uh,
when you start eroding the actual benefits of living in the town, it comes to the realization of going, huh, I guess I could just probably live here. It's like
well,
in the
yeah,
end, it's actually cheaper.
well, that's the whole idea. But like I've said, for me, it's just it's give and take. Like most of the time, I've had to
Yeah.
either live with somebody or I've had to
Yep.
maybe make it on my own and see how it goes. But as time has moved forward and more things have happened in the world, it seems like well that affects everybody else now. Because
Yep.
look at this. Like, and I don't mean to be so weird about all these about this, but like you look at a place like Thief River, like
Yep.
from what it used to be to what it is now. I feel like the town has kind of gone more downhill than it has uphill, only because where are all the businesses, all the good stuff that we used to have? I know some corporations have shut down, so it's not our fault for that. But like all the little mom and pop shops that used to be around that aren't around no more, that can't make it, or supposedly now,
The,
Sears and everything.
I'll speak on the mom and pop issue is that
Okay,
there is no mom and pop anymore because when these older people go out of business, I'm afraid to say it. There's nobody that's there that wants to take over and have the responsibilities and stuff of their own. So no, it's a struggle no matter where you are because, like I said, I'm a small business. It's tough to
yeah,
find an entrepreneur that's going to stick, come up and want to do something like that and have that responsibility. They want to go to work at 8 o'clock, be done at 5 o'clock, punch in, punch out, no responsibility, go ride their four wheeler, or whatever they do for their recreation, and
yeah.
forget about work, and then show back up on at 8 o'clock and be,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it happens at even our place too at the casino. And I don't mean to call it the casino, but it's just like we it's hard to find good help, and that probably is true in Thief River as well. Obviously, with everything going on, or people that just are just there for a paycheck and don't care about what they're trying to do as a profession. I know how that feels.
I
But
mean,
anyway,
yeah.
anyway, I don't mean to make this the
Yeah.
Q&A. I just wanted to kind of give you guys kind of an idea of what I wanted to do. Like for me, I've always loved podcasting. I've always loved radio. The only thing is like for some reason I can't seem to get a job at KTRF or any local station for some reason. But yet when I live in South Dakota, for some reason I was able to get a TV job working there for at the Fox affiliate for 3 years, and then after they went to their chains and they decided to let some of the new people go. But for here in my area, you figure that a job would come pretty easy, but it's like they always have their excuses and stuff. So now I do podcasting and I work at the casino, and that's kind of I don't make any money doing the podcasting, so this is just like a free little whatever shindig, but it's really helped me get more exposure to what we do. And the benefit is too, I don't know if you've ever heard of Grand Forks Best Source, but we also broadcast the show on their server every
Mhm.
Saturday night at 7 o'clock. So there's that audience too. So you're not only just getting the audience of Thief River and the surrounding areas on the Monday night live show, but you'll get with the replay, you'll get the Grand Forks audience as well. So that could help you. That could maybe hurt you. I don't know. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I just want to bring us together, have a cool conversation. I'm going to have some people, with me to make this happen. So it's not just going to be myself doing the whole thing. But I just want to let you know that it's all going to be. We're all just here to have a good time and be relaxed. And if you happen to have a little debate, do whatever you got to do. But just find peace with each other. I mean, because we all love each other. No matter what. And that's the whole point of this whole thing. But there's just a lot of people that are concerned, and I want to do my part, the best that I can to show that I care too, and I want people to know about what we're willing to host something that maybe most people aren't willing to host. So
So to your point there, I just want to call one thing out that you said that when, yep, I understand. You said the old Thief Falls and the mom and pop shops, and I'll give you an example of why it is actually impacting you personally. Um, our culture and our team, and I'm sorry, there's a train coming here too.
yeah, that's
The
fine.
team, the flow of people has changed. The family dynamics has changed. How many people are listening to KTRF radio today versus how many were listening to it 40 years ago? You follow what I'm saying?
I
A
think
lot of
the reason
people,
for that was probably because there's actually somebody on the actual in the studio all the time. Now they go automated most of the time.
yep,
There's no
that
live
that
person.
that did not help them, in my opinion, at all. But it is what it is. They're having to cut corners because they needed to do something to survive. Um, the same thing could be said about, the newspaper, for example. I mean, my kids were raised a little bit differently, probably than others, because they were like, you get the paper. All of my kids are sitting there reading the paper. But
Sure.
you asked that to some of my peers at work, and they're going, "Oh, we don't get the paper. We throw the watch. We don't even look at it." It's going, why? Why are you not paying attention to this stuff? I'm a strong believer. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And
Yeah.
if you're not looking at some of the stuff that's in the paper today, and understanding what's happening in the community, you will be swallowed up. It's not gonna not be helpful. And so, but anyway,
Okay. All right.
um,
Well, so what my plan is, so it'll be next Monday. It'll go from like 6 o'clock. Like we'll have the Q&A or our interview or whatever at 6 o'clock. I'm calling it like a digital town hall is what I'm going to call it. So
okay.
just so you guys know, and then I'm going to make a promo on it tonight, and I'll send it to you. And if you want to help me promote the event or whatever, that'd be appreciated. I'm not expecting anything back in return or anything. I'm just trying to help out the community and try to help you guys because I think both you guys are great people, and I didn't know, Brian, that you own Michael's Meats. I just found that out from my friend Zach. I didn't, so I met you a few times before
Uh,
because
uh,
I have shopped there before.
yep, I've seen you before.
Yeah, I mean it's a good place. I mean a little spendy, but I guess you have to be when it comes to organic food and stuff, or really
Yep.
actual good food and everything. So,
That
but
isn't necessarily true, Sean, because if you look at the pricing on their
uh-huh.
sliced cheese, I don't know if you can get a better price.
Okay, I
Um,
have
the,
never
the,
bought the cheese at all, so I just buy the meats and stuff. So,
you start doing the math, and you say, okay, I want to get 10 slices of cheese, and you want them this thick and whatever else. They get you fresh, clean sliced cheese. Which, by the way, if you take a look at the cheese in your stores, they actually put a basically a wood de- anti-caking agent on their cheese so that it
oh,
doesn't cake.
oh,
And
really?
you don't get that at Brian's because it's cut fresh. And if
Wow.
you do the math, it is not bad price cheese, and that's why you'll see
Okay.
me probably at Brian's getting my cheese meat quite frequently because yeah, I have a lot of kids and they eat a lot of different food. So, but
Well, I'll take that into consideration next time because I'm always looking for the freshest stuff. I'm willing to pay a little bit more for things if I need to, just because I have that. I mean, I don't have that type of income, but I make it work. I live like I'm a rich guy, but I'm not. I just love being able to do what I want in life and not have to feel like a criminal or anything like that. Because that's probably going to be a subject we're going to be talking about too, the crime. And so just there won't be any surprises, but just know that we're gonna be as real about it as we can. So don't hesitate to give good answers for all the questions. So that's pretty much all I really have for you guys. I mean,
Okay.
so Monday at 6 o'clock, and then we'll do like a little live Q&A afterwards with the audience or whoever is in the chat from 7 to 7:30, and then that'll be it. So
And then you'll be sending the link out then, similar to what you did tonight then.
yeah, yes, I'll send you guys both prior. I'll better do a pre-show at 5:30 with whoever's be part of my panel, and then because normally I have a normal panel, but most of these people are not from the area that are on my panel, so they don't really care about this type of stuff. So
Yeah.
I'll give you guys the link like I did before. I didn't know if you both had iPhones or Androids, because sometimes it makes a difference with the because sometimes there's a bigger link that I can send you that has more information, but the smaller links normally do work with an iPhone and Android, so it just
Yep.
depends.
This one worked good.
Okay. So that's pretty much what I wanted to do, and I appreciate the fact that you guys are willing to take a chance on me, because I live in Brooks, so I'm not even in Thief River, so it's like, but this is more for that, more for Thief
Th-
River area.
Then if you ever wanted, I could always hook you up with Josh with Destination Pro. Maybe you'd ever want to do a podcast with some of his wrestling stuff.
I've been trying to get his attention for a long time. I don't think the guy likes me, to
Uh,
be honest with you, because I
uh,
tried before, and he won't even work with me when we had Kurt Angle. I had an idea of we could have done our own pre-show like they do on for WWE and everything, but he didn't. He
um,
said he had no time for me.
maybe, maybe I can work off to the side and see what's going on.
All right, because I do go to all his events. I've been to every one. I'm a supporter of wrestling. I love the fact that we have something in the community. I wish we had a
Yeah.
lot more and whatnot. So anyway, I
Yep.
appreciate you guys, and thank you for spending some time with me.
Perfect. We'll
Thank
talk to
you.
you later.
All right,
Have a
bye.
good